What's up, hustlers? It's Hustlers Horizon Podcast, episode 20. It's going by fast, having a blast.
Yep.
And today, I'm gonna make sure to get your last name right here, Paul, okay? We have the one and only Paul Olivarez with us today on Hustlers Horizon Podcast. Now, Paul, you have some exciting news. For those who've been keeping up with you, you've been a busy man. You've been in the restaurant industry for, you said, all your life, right?
Pretty much over 30 years.
Over 30 years.
Yeah.
And now...
He's introducing the Brunch Truck Cafe.
Yeah, so, we've had the brunch truck before. Pedro's been there many a times.
Yeah, it's good.
You can't get away from those Port Verde
Oh,
churros
yeah,
sauces.
man. The breakfast, it's all good.
Yeah, so, we've had our brunch truck for 3 years now, and it's
Okay.
been in the same place right behind the building that we're actually fixing to open. We're right by the Greyhound bus station, So
Okay.
It's been 3 years in the making. The process was pretty long. There were some reasons why we didn't open up yet. We were waiting for Greyhound bus station to go to the new site.
Yeah.
And so we've been waiting patiently for 3 years. They were supposed to, WT was supposed to buy that lot, and another company from a German company called Flixbus took over, and they didn't want to get up that land right then and there. So, Greyhound stayed there. And it's been 3 years. Finally, WT does have it now. Greyhound will be there at least until October. When I found out from the ticket agency general manager that they have at least until October, but they're already starting kind of to do some stuff around there, so you can tell that they're fixing to get ready to do what they need to do to start getting that university. I don't know what they're going to do yet. The last time I heard, it was going to be dorms.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah, 3 years ago when we got the building, we have my wife has an uncle who was one of the architects, and he was saying that they were the whole process of the plan was gonna be dorms out of that.
Mm-hmm.
But 3 years has gone by so far, and they might be changing it. So as far as I know, they do have it. They're gonna definitely do something there.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of what they're gonna do there. Now for us right now. Once I found out that they actually did start owning the property, then I started thinking, well, now it's time for me to get that building remodeled and making it a beer and wine bar. So what it is, it's you just go in there, you order off the menu. They have tables and chairs. You can have beer and wine. We'll have our homemade micheladas, sangrias. We're doing something very unique. It's going to be, brunch is pretty popular, and when you associate brunch with any kind of alcohol, the first thing comes to your mind is mimosas.
Yep.
There you go. So mimosas. So we are going to actually have a build-your-own mimosa bar.
Oh,
Okay.
So what it is it's a table, and it's going to have all these different kind of fresh fruits cut up. It's going to have the different kind of juices. So let's just say strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, kiwi, orange, pineapple for the fruits. And then for the juices itself, the original orange juice, the cranberry, mango, probably a passion fruit. Just as different kinds. And what they do is they're just going to get their glass. They're going to put their favorite fruits in there. They're going to put their favorite juices in there, and then they just come up to us, and we pour the Prosecco right on top of it.
okay.
Nice.
That's actually, that's something different. And when you were talking about that earlier, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I
Smart.
think that's going to take off for you. But this whole process of you getting into this, getting this going, it's like the hurry up and wait game, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was ready,
Yeah, you've been talking about it for a long time.
Yeah, so, Pedro and I worked at Olive Garden.
Yeah, that's how I met him. So he was my GM at Olive Garden
Okay.
when I was serving tables.
Yeah,
How did I do, by the way?
You did great. Let's just say you had your own way of doing things, but as long as it made us money and it made you money, I was fine with it.
Yeah, I came from the old field, bro, so I wasn't used to it. Man, it was fun though. I learned a lot for sure.
Yeah,
And-
corporate structure is very different, and I've been in the business for over 30 years, and that corporate structure actually helped me be where I am right now with my food truck. Food truck's a very difficult dynamic of a food industry. You pretty much lean on yourself.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's all
You have no one to lean on. You it's your menu. You have to bring the people in.
Yep.
Your advertising is what you do with your food, who you are, and the kind of environment that's in there. Now with me, what's made ours so popular over the past 3 years is the vibe that we give out. You know, if you were to walk over at the food truck, you're going to hear music
A
automatically.
lot of loud music. I didn't notice that. I didn't notice that. Yeah.
I listen to a lot of positive music and stuff that gets me going. That's my coffee in the morning.
There you go.
Music. Even with Olive Garden, I would play music. I love music. It's part of my DNA. I grew up with music, and so I put the message out to have positive music while
Absolutely.
I work, because when people come in, the first thing they think of is when they walk in is like, how's the environment?
Yeah.
How does it feel when I come in here? And when they step first into the food truck and listen to the music, it's already going. The vibe is already out there. It's like pulsating.
Yeah.
So by the time they come to me, they're like doing the little dances already, ready to go. You know, I play a lot of disco, so
Okay.
but that's my family background. I have seven. I have 7 sisters and 3 brothers, and pretty much almost all of them almost older, except for me, my little brother, and my little sister. So we have a big dynamic of music that we grew up with.
Yeah.
Disco has always been very positive for me and a big core of the music. But, you know, blues, country, I listen to a lot of R&B. I do listen to country because I have family members that live a lot of the old country, the 80s and 90s country, the George Strait and or Conway Twitty and stuff like that. So when you hear that vibe, you're already in a good mood. So what they see is now as they go to the menu, they see the menu, and my menu is very diverse. There's a big menu. And they see it, and then I pretty much put a very big description of each menu item, so they're looking at it, and I'll even talk about it, and they're already like, you can tell they're like, oh yes, I want that. I want that.
What's one of the most popular dishes that you have?
Oh, the kitchen sink breakfast burrito, Pablito's kitchen sink breakfast burrito.
Yeah.
I sell over 200 a week of those.
Oh,
and
wow.
It's different than anything you're going to experience in Amarillo. And the reason why is because of the ingredients that I put together. I use a pretty fresh tortilla. It's called fresh to frozen, which they cook it fresh, and then they let it cool off, and they stick it in the freezer. So there's no preservatives in it. You're not going to taste any kind of preservatives.
Yeah.
And then the potatoes I use is a Yukon Gold potato. It's a yellow potato. So it's less starch and it's a little bit sweeter. It's got a different taste to it than a russet potato. Russet potato tends to be kind of bland. You have to put spices in it to make it taste better.
Yeah.
I use applewood bacon. I use smoked ham. I use a breakfast sausage. And then the big thing is when I put everything out, the cheese, I use the Kobe Jack cheddar cheese. But when I put it together, I just layer it on top of each other. The cheese, the smoked ham, the Yukon Gold potatoes, and then the eggs I cook with the bacon and sausage diced up. And I cook it over medium. I put it right on top of the potatoes, and I just pop those yolks right on top of it.
Yeah.
So what you're going to get is a very rich, a very rich flavor.
Yeah.
I don't know any other food truck or restaurant that does it that way. They all do scrambled eggs. They do liquid egg, and they primarily use hash browns. On that. So it's a very unique experience. And then my 8 spice season. I use the 8 spice seasoning. You know, so I've heard numerous people call it spice crack, just because it's a very addicting season. It's got unique to it.
Yeah. So with this food truck and stuff, where you said you've been in the industry background for what, 30 years?
Yeah.
But where did you learn to cook, or where did that come from?
My mom.
Your mom?
Yeah. Anybody who knows me or knows my family or knows my background, I grew up in Tulia, Texas.
Okay.
And if you've ever been to Tulia, Texas, there's a little small Mexican restaurant called the El Camino. It's been there since late 70s, early 80s. My mom was one of the the first cooks there, and most of those items at the time were my mom's recipes of the enchilada sauce, the rellena, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So my mom's passion of cooking and cooking for a big family. I mean, I remember these big meals growing up, especially on Sunday. Sunday, we were the original. We were, lay back, and you can hear upstairs. You already hear the Mexican music going on. I remember it was a radio station out of Plainview, and they played Mexican music on Sundays, and you could hear it already. My mom's they're already blasting it. My dad's already up, and they're already blasting it. But I can smell the breakfast.
Yeah.
You had all these different kind of. She would make potatoes, the bacon, the sausage. And what was made it unique is she would make the eggs like that over medium or easy, and put them in the burritos like that. So I remember it, I don't know any of my brothers or sisters that doesn't like over easy or over medium eggs. We all love the same one. We don't really do scrambled, unless it's just there. So that's what we're about that out. My mom's passion for cooking, I used to watch her cook, and I was a big fat kid. That's why I have one. There's a menu item called the Jethro burrito. It's over a pound burrito.
Oh, wow.
And there's a Beverly Hillbillies, a little thing, and it's Jethro Bodin's on there, and he's the nephew, and he would always eat these big meals. And that was my nickname growing up, was Jethro. You know, when they see my plate, they see all this food, like, hi, Jethro. So, you know, my mom cooking for a big family like that, and just the passion and just seeing everybody's faces when she would cook and everybody eat, just it was different.
Yeah. Now, the background, you said you're Hispanic, right?
Uh-huh.
Where are your parents from? Or
So, you know, I did an ancestry DNA testing a
Yeah.
while back, and come to find out, my dad's side of the family is actually from the Nuevo Laredo area, which is right at the border of Texas and Mexico,
Family.
and that's where the core and the concentrated. You don't see anything past that.
Uh-huh.
My mom's family originated from Spain, so they took the route of going down from Spain and going around the Atlantic Ocean and through Central America or South America and all that, and coming up from there and coming up to Mexico itself too.
Okay.
So you have my mom's Spanish tradition and my dad's Mexican tradition. We're third generation Tejano. So
Yeah,
we're we've been here for 3 generations. So with me, with us, my parents and my grandparents. Coming to find out, I'm looking at it, and the more I research it, it looks like we were Tejanos automatically, because when Mexico was ended up being Texas, we're already here.
yeah.
So that's where it originated from. But you said that better, and the spices that I use are fusion spices. There's some of my culture, of my dad's culture, and some of the culture of my mom's culture. And one big example is I think you've had the pastor burrito, the pastor tacos.
Yeah.
So that's a unique taco. It's not like you would make an original pastor. You know, the pastor, you get the big old pork meat, and it's cooking going around, and you put the pineapple and you get the orange like that.
So good.
Yeah, but I do it differently. I do it where I get the meat, I get the seasonings, but the 2 different fusions that I put of both my parents is the pineapple and orange coming on my dad's side, but coming from Spain, and the spices that they would use, cinnamon and cloves. And I put the cinnamon and the cloves, the orange juice, the crushed pineapple, the paprika, and then I put my 8 spices in it, and I let it marinate for 2 days. I won't mess with it. I'll leave it in the thing and let it cook for 2 days, because it's like cooking like a ceviche. Those citric acids are actually cooking that pork, breaking it down, and all I'm doing is putting it on the grill and caramelizing it, heating it up and letting those sugars caramelize. So when you eat it, it's very deep in flavor.
It's good.
Well, man, I'm already excited to get some food now.
It's down the street from us.
Well, that's oh my
so
gosh, I'm about to gain so much weight. Well, just hearing that though, it's awesome to know the like the inspiration behind everything. And so, like, just listening to you, it's every little detail of what you do. It's like comes from your background, right? From your parents. Like, that's awesome. It started with the music, and then you said you smelt the breakfast, and then they love to cook for a big family.
And we always laugh and joke around.
Yeah.
It's always happy.
And that's awesome, because that's what the customers are going to see. That's what's going to attract people there. So, but it's just neat. As I was listening to you, it's just really cool to know that every single detail, I mean, from start to finish, every little thing that you're doing, every meal you cook, every little ingredient you have, it's comes from your background. There's an inspiration there. So I want to talk about that. What does your like, who is your biggest inspiration whenever you got into this? And I know you mentioned your mom and her cooking and stuff. Whenever you started your restaurant and you got into that industry, and then now you took the leap to say, man, I'm going to do my own thing, do it my own way, and I want people to just smile and laugh and enjoy my food. Who's your biggest inspiration, and what does your support system look like through all of this?
That would be my family, and my wife, and my wife's family. We have a really close family with my brothers and sisters, my mom. We're all still alive, and the only one's passed away is my dad 35 years ago. So we're very close in that, and we just celebrated my mom's 88th birthday last week. We took her to bingo, but it's they taught me how to have passion, how to love.
Yeah.
My wife taught me how to take everything into stride, to be calm about it, not to be nervous about what happens, because whatever happens. We're in this world to love one another, and that's what I have. My mantra is always been be kind, change the world.
So that's that.
So having that knowledge of knowing that I have a great support system doesn't make me nervous about failing or succeeding. So that passion that I have for the cooking, and it was a big leap doing a food truck. I mean, a lot of food trucks fail.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's because either a couple of things, either the food is just like any other ordinary food around town that you can get anywhere, or the business setup is not right to invite guests in. So those things, it's worrisome because you're doing it on your own. You don't have a support system of a corporate business to support you. So to have the support of my family is a very big thing. So when you say that, I mean, I can even say role models of mentors. I have a big mentor in cooking besides my mom was a gentleman named Ruben Gonzalez. He was the owner of El Patron.
Okay.
El Patron. He passed away 2 years ago with cancer. But he was a big mentor of mine. I took a lot from him. Any manager growing up, when I was growing up younger, I took the good qualities out of them that I thought that, hey, this will work for me, and the bad qualities I just kind of set aside. And so I would do that with every manager that I worked under growing up. And then when I started being the general manager, or when I started saying, look, I think it's time for me to move up to a general manager position because I can't learn any more from these people. I've already took all that, and there was not much to learn. So doing that and being general manager, I just learned to kind of just pretty much learn how to do a big business. And, corporate structure is like it's a very big structure. You do a training a lot. You do go to meetings a lot. You learn how to be your own boss is what they try to tell a general manager is be your own boss. Yeah. And what that means is be your own boss, but use our parameters of being a boss.
But do what we say.
Do what we say. So, COVID hit. And when COVID hit, it changed the world. It honestly changed the world. Yeah. It changed how people saw life and saw how they really wanted to live. You saw a lot of the restaurant industry people didn't come back from it. They did not come back to work to the restaurant industry. They took it as, hey, I have time to learn something else, and I want to do something different. So, for me to say that was one of the big factors of why I left and wanted to do my own thing. It's a broader standpoint, but that's what really kind of affected me to go ahead and change. I was getting older. I was used to taking care of 100 plus employees, which is a really big task. Yeah. But at the same time, it takes a toll on you because if you are a person who has your own beliefs and your own standards, and it's starting to change because of COVID, and you're starting to see the changes with how restaurant industries are working now. Yeah, absolutely. And how the company was changing. Yeah. You can see it right in front of you. And I had to make the decision, is this what I want to do now? Now, I have nothing against the companies. I had nothing against Olive Garden or anybody I worked for. It's just they were just trying to adapt. Adapt or die attitude was a lot of any kind of business during COVID was adapt or die. So you saw a lot of companies changing. And I see that change, and that made me decide I think I'm ready to get out because I want to do my own thing, and I was ready to take that leap and just do what I wanted to do.
Yeah, COVID created a lot of businesses. Yeah. It also
and that's the thing though.
Put some down.
But it's crazy to think about that because with COVID, it changed the game for everybody. For a lot of businesses, and during that time though to say, this is the time to jump out and start my own thing. Yeah, it's scary. That's a scary thing to do. Yeah. Because where you were at this whole time, that's your job security. Exactly. And then it's like, hey, we're gonna have to shut down. It's gonna slow down a little bit. I'm gonna go start my own business. So props on that, Paul. That's awesome. Yeah. But like you said, it created a lot of business. Y'all even said because people had time to learn something new or think about like, do I want to? Yeah. I can really do this, right? And I think once you overcome that fear of the trials and tribulations, the failure, right? Failure is necessary. I say that a lot. Yeah. But once you overcome that and you understand that you're going to fail plenty of times, even when you're on your highs, you're going to have your lows along the way. Yeah. But once you overcome that, it's a lot easier to say, you know what? Like, this is awesome. I can do this, and you're doing your own thing. And so...
And like I said, it takes a great support system.
Exactly.
I didn't do it on myself. I think the environment I was in, the support I had with my wife. My wife was a very big supporter of me, and she said it just like that. If you fail, you fail. At least you tried. Don't go through life and wishing you had did this. Just do it, and then if it fails, then we do something else, and we'll figure it out. But don't be scared of failure, and also at the same time, don't be scared of success either. Yeah. You know, when we first started out 3 years ago, man, that first year was rough. I'm not gonna lie, it was very rough because you had to build your clientele, you had to build your business.
Exactly.
Sometimes I would get, 10 people for the day, and I'm like, oh my God, is this really gonna work? And I doubt. But then the more I would get like people coming and they would taste it, and the more reviews I got, and the great reviews, and then the more people started coming out more, and I started getting these regulars. It kept building. It was like a big old snowball going down a mountain. It just got bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah. And last time I checked, I think I have over 150 reviews, 5 stars still.
Wow,
so
that's awesome.
I get a lot of people from out of town.
I was going to ask you that you're always posting people that just come through, right?
Yeah.
Through Amarillo.
Yeah.
Where that's because the bus station, I'm guessing.
No, that's because of my vegan community. So that's another thing. Vegan. I have a full vegan menu. So
okay.
I'm the only one in Amarillo has a. Someone's gonna hate me for me saying this because I've already had issues with this one. Person.
Call him out. No,
yeah, I'm not going to call him out. But they know who they are. Yeah. Disputing that about me having a full vegan menu. And you've seen my menu. People see my menu. It's very diverse. It's very full. It's got everything you can think of for a vegan. Now I don't consider it. I consider it vegan comfort food. But I can tell you that everything is like 85% of my stuff is from scratch. I make it from scratch, and people they love it. And the out-of-town people are people that can't get vegan food. When they hit Amarillo, if they go 4 hours west, they can't get it until they get to Albuquerque or Santa Fe. If they go north, they can't get it until Colorado. If they go south, they can't get it until close to Wichita Falls to the Dallas area. Oh, wow. And if they go east, they can't get it until Oklahoma City. Yeah. So for them, they actually make it a point to stop. Right there, because right in the middle of everything. I had so many people this past couple of weeks that are from Dallas going to Colorado. I couldn't tell you how many people, but I can tell you that a majority in 1 week, a couple of weeks ago, a majority of my guests was 65 to 70% were from out of town.
Wow,
it was crazy. Awesome. Yeah, people just going through.
So people are seeing the reviews. They're hearing about you. That's awesome. But even when you started talking, I noticed something that you were talking about, like the way you run your business, and you were mentioning this and this and that. But the most important thing that stood out to me is you even said it's not about like who I am, it's not because, but in what I got out of that is you also mentioned how you treat people, and you want to create an environment where people can come and enjoy their food and they're dancing and they're having a good time. That right there is going to bring you so much business because not only are they coming, you're interacting with them, you're having fun, but you're being kind. Yeah. Just like you said earlier, it's so simple. If people could just get that.
Be kind.
Just be kind. Just be kind and change the world.
Yeah. So, I hate money. Hey. I can tell you right now.
Whoa. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you. It's funny when I say it out loud because the first thing business people's like, what? I'm like, I don't like money. I wish money didn't exist because then everybody could do what they wanted to do and true in their life. They could do what they wanted to do. And so my business, I think of it this way. I make money because I have to keep going.
Yeah,
I make money now because I have new employees because we're fixing to open the building. So it's for their benefit too. I make money because to pay bills.
Yeah.
If that didn't exist, I would still be doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is kind of unique because people say, no, I wouldn't be doing that. I'll be doing something else. Well, I do the same thing because of this point and this point only. I make an impact because I want people to feel better. Okay. Mental health is very big for me.
Yeah.
COVID hit. A lot of people had mental health issues,
depression and all that.
Depression and all that. So it was very, it's a very open topic for me. I would not hesitate to say that I did have mental health issues. Anxiety was a big thing. I was having panic attacks, and this is when COVID. When I say that, I say it's okay to say it out loud.
Yeah.
My background and my family, it's kind of hard for that to happen, but it's getting easier these days now because more people are more aware that just because someone has an issue doesn't mean that their mental health is going to be debilitating.
Yeah.
You say it out loud because you want help. You say it out loud because you want someone to hear you, and you say it out loud because you say, this is not who I am. This is an issue that I need to either get therapy, be on medication, or change your life up a little bit to not have as big of impact. And that's one of the things too, is that's the reason why I changed my life. It wasn't worth, my job was not worth, doesn't matter the money that I was making. It wasn't worth for my mental health in the way that I wanted to live.
Yeah.
And I wanted to live for my wife, my kids, and my family.
Yeah.
So when I say that out loud, when I say I don't like money, that's the reason why.
Okay.
It's because when you work and you work your butt off and you're a hard worker, you are a hard worker. I see that with you every day. I see you on social media. I see the way you work. That's great. But how much is enough? How much is enough to have the quality of life that you really want?
Yeah.
People always talk about the grind all the time. They talk about the grind. They talk about I'm working hard because I'm making that money. I'm making that paper.
Preach.
But how much is enough? How much is it enough to spend time away from your family and not being there? Because when you live in this world, and I always call it this little blue pill that we live in, this little blue marble that we live in, how much is enough before your quality of life gets better in your life? And when you leave this universe, did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
Did you enjoy it by doing what you wanted to do? By spending the time with the people you love and to have that quality to affect other people. So when I say that little thing about being kind to change the world, I'm not trying to think of a big aspect of it. I'm not trying to do this major thing to do it. I do it by just one simple thing: treating people like the way you want to be treated.
Yeah.
Treat the respect, and you do that out of what you do.
That's good.
Dang, man. I was like, you can just keep on talking. I don't got no more questions.
I
Just
want
keep
to quit my
keep
job,
going.
bro.
I'm like, keep going. That's just, it's awesome though to have that outlook in that, just the way you think about that.
Yeah, not everybody.
Not everyone
that way.
thinks that, because I still till this day, I'm not afraid to say it, I still have my moments. We all have our moments, right? Mental health is important, and sometimes you get in that fog, but you think of the good. You have to change that outlook on life, right? Like my sister, I would tell her like, hey, like I'm going through this hard time, sis, I don't know if I could do it. And she's like, brother, it's a bad day, not a bad life.
Yeah.
I said, oh, okay, so tomorrow will be better. But just to have that outlook, especially when you made that jump, right? And you even were open about it. You said you were, had depression, you were down, you had a lot of stress.
Anxiety. Stuff.
But your anxiety, but to overcome that though, and to see where you're at now, and then now your outlook on everything else still has not changed. It's about being kind to people, treating them how you want to be treated.
Yeah.
It's the most important thing. Gave me goosebumps while you were talking.
No, man.
Yeah.
And we see that too. Like on your social media, you can tell you're like a genuine guy. You're not just being nice for nothing. You can tell you mean what you say.
Yeah.
And I've known him for a while now, and every time I see you, you're always nice to me.
Yeah. And the thing is too with corporate business is you have to do how they want you to say things and do things. So I can honestly say 100% that when I worked for these corporations, it wasn't me.
Yeah.
Early on, when I first started out and I was new and everything was exciting to me, it was me. That was a genuine me. Getting older and the more money you made, the higher you got paid, the more you had to think like a corporation wanted you to think.
Yeah.
And so, when you had to sit down with someone and have a conversation because they were 30 minutes late and it was habitual, and then you're sitting down, that person in front of you that you're talking to, you're trying to tell them, look, I feel what you feel. And the way I try to say is, I feel what you feel. I know what you're going through. But at the same time, I have to say what corporate wants me to say.
Yeah.
So it wasn't me. And then the last part of when I was working with the corporation, that wasn't me anymore. And that's what I decided to think of too, is that wasn't me talking anymore. That was the corporation talking. And that's when it was time for me to leave. And I can tell you now, we talk about mental health, and I told you that I was on medication like that. I'm totally off medication now. I'm 100% fine. There's nothing, as far as mental health is concerned. That was just a thing, a little bump because of COVID and the way that life had changed for me right then.
Yeah.
It was a lot to overcome right then and there, because there was too many things happening in the world. I'd see the news. I'd see the people dying. The corporation was trying not to go under, so we were doing all this stuff. So it was very stressful. And the biggest thing that started it was my mom. She was the very first one of our family to get COVID. And I thought, there she is. She's gone. And, when she caught COVID, when we found out, I'm like, that's it. Because you're already seeing the news of everybody that was older dying. And I was like, okay, well, she's fixing to die, and there's no way we can see her because nobody's letting us in the hospital, stuff like that. So that's what kind of caused it right there. That's when I can tell you at that exact moment is when it started changing for me.
Yeah.
Come to find out, my mom was there, and I would talk to her daily on the phone, and she would just like, I don't have COVID.
I don't have COVID.
My leg hurts.
My leg hurts.
I said, Mom, you have COVID. The doctor told us you have COVID. No, the doctor doesn't know it. My leg hurts.
That's funny.
And it's the damnedest thing. Swear to God, she was out 2 days later.
Oh, wow.
Nothing. She was fine.
It's good.
So
It's good.
you know,
She spoke that on herself.
she
huh?
yeah,
She's
the lady's 88 years old now, and she still moves around. Me and my wife take her to bingo every 2 weeks, and she has all these people. So seeing my mom and seeing the way that people like gravitate towards her. When I was little, like I want that. Even my dad was was a very gravitas person, and you see people just like floating to him. And it was the dynamic he had was just the vibe that he had. That vibe that people just wanted that. And
That's where you get it from.
yeah. I'll tell you a little thing if we have time.
Yeah, of course.
My wife and I, we talk a lot, and that's my therapist is my wife.
Yeah.
We talk a lot, and she one day when we were first dating, first on, she's like, I kept telling her I'm exhausted, and she's like, well, I can see why. And she goes, why? She goes, I watch you, and you have this light about you, and people gravitate to that light like a firefly, and they take your energy, but they don't give you any return. And I'm like, okay, what do you mean by that? She told the story about when we went to a bar, and I was with my friends, and she said she just stood back and watched us. And she goes, I see everybody just gravitating toward you, and everybody's getting a little bit of that light, but you're not asking. And she goes, your unselfishness, you don't ask anything in return.
Yeah.
You don't take that energy from them. They just take all your energy. So, she goes, that's why you're exhausted. And then I started kind of like, started thinking about it, and then I would go out and away from, without her, and I started seeing what she was talking about.
Yeah.
And I noticed different people doing the same thing too. And, people who has a very positive light about them, when you ever hear that person say, oh, that guy's got a good vibe, or he has a positive life, or it's one of those things that's kind of rare. And I'm not saying that I do. I just say that when someone has that and people want to come to you, you want to make sure it's worth it. You want to make sure that the people are around you that wants that light from you. If you're that type of guy, you want to make sure it's worth it, that you get some or then they give some. Yeah. So right then and there is when I started really kind of getting closer to my wife at the time, and I was like, this is the one. Because she made me see something different from the aspect of who I was, and then the so-called friends who I started saying they weren't friends anymore. They were acquaintances. So I started kind of thinking about that late, the years went by. So what I have now is my family. I'm very close to my family, so I kind of reconnected to all of them again and stay close to them. And then I have a couple of friends that are childhood friends that I've known from the past that have the same kind of vibe as I do. They don't take anything from you. They give it out. Yeah. So if you have those people around you and you have that positive nature around you, then it makes life easier for you. Yeah. It really does. It makes life easier. You always talk about people being toxic. Well, that's what you kind of want to get away from.
Exactly.
So the people that come to my food truck, I hate the word like-minded. I don't like when people say like-minded. Like-minded still means that you are minimizing the people around you. What I say is I just want people who have the same vibe, positive vibe. I don't care. When you say like-minded, the first thing that comes to my mind is, okay, so you're the same people. Doesn't matter. You're the same people. What I have for my business is I want it to be open-minded. I want it to coexist, and that's the biggest thing I can tell anybody. With my mantra, "Be kind, change the world," is because I want everybody to coexist with each other. We all live in this planet. I don't care what your religion is. I don't care what your gender is, your sexual orientation, your beliefs. It doesn't matter as long as you can. When you come in and you want to go somewhere that's going to just keep you going as a positive vibe and have a good, for 15, 20 minutes that you're in there, or even 30, 40 minutes, when you leave there, you came out there and you're like, God, I feel better. Yeah. I feel better about life for that split second. Doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah, I have no doubt that you're going to make that environment like that with your restaurant. I wanted to ask you about that, though. It's almost ready, right? Or is it, when are you going to open that?
So we're going to do the soft opening this coming Saturday. And when I mean by soft opening, I mean, I don't want, 200 people coming at the same time.
Okay, 300. He wants 300 people coming.
I just want people to come, have a meal. We're going to shorten the menu. So I'm training people right now as we speak. I don't want them to get overwhelmed. So I want to do a short menu, a couple of drinks, and just have them get practice.
So
the full opening is August 13th.
August 13th. Yeah. And so once you get it fully open and stuff, what are those hours going to look like? When can people go over there and munch?
So we're still looking at it, but for right now, tentative, I'm going to do it for 3 months, and then we'll figure out when the holidays come, when fall comes. It's going to be Monday through Friday. It's going to be 7 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Okay.
And then Sunday brunch. Sunday brunch is huge. We have a very huge Sunday brunch. It's surprising how a food truck can have that big of a Sunday brunch, but we did. And that's because of years of keep on advertising that Sunday brunch and us staying open. And then we're going to do 3 nights a week. We'll do Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday night from about 5 until midnight.
Oh, wow.
On that part.
That's
the reason why we do those 3 is because some of the restaurants downtown, they close already at 9:30.
Yeah.
Crush, 6 Car, all of them right there.
They all have like weird schedules.
They do have weird schedules. But
Going
I
on
want
Tuesday and they're closed. Or
I was like, man, this sounded good today.
Yeah, but I want to get a couple. The reason why I want to do that is because I want to do it for the restaurant industry. I want those people that are cooks and servers and everybody that works there, when they get off, hey, come over, have some beers, have a meal with us. We're right here. And then the people who are leaving right before the bar starts getting really crazy. I always told my kids, growing up, that nothing good happens after 11.
Yeah. No, I believe that now.
Yeah,
I believe that.
But those people that leave around that time because their parents told them the same thing, and they're ready to go home. They just want to have some fun with their friends, but leave at a certain time.
Yeah.
They can stop by and still get something to eat with us because we'll still be open and having brunch. We do brunch all day. We do breakfast, lunch all day long. So and including the night. So having that, doing some appetizers. Thursday would be the college time because college, we have the university right behind us, and they start college up in August. And then Fridays will be the end of the work week where people can have appetizers, have some drinks before they go home for the weekend.
That's smart, man. You have some. I think it's a good schedule for sure.
Good schedule, good plan. Yeah.
I was also going to ask you. So you have this restaurant going. You're about to open. Have you thought what you got going on like in the future, like 5 years from now?
So
do you have like that vision yet, or you're just living day to day?
I've had that vision since the get go.
Oh, wow.
I have phases
Okay.
of my plan. Right now we're on the 5th phase. The 5th and final phase, actually, to tell you the truth, was opening this building, and then we're going to see what happens in 2 years from now.
Okay.
And the model that I have a very low food cost, because if you really look at, I have a very big menu, but at the same time I have a low food cost, and people ask, well, how can you do that? So we'll really look at the menu. A lot of my ingredients I use 3, 4, 5 times over in the menu. So I'm not wasting anything. I don't have a menu item that I only use once and that's it. I use these on purpose for the vegan and the non-vegan menu to coexist with each other. So everything, when I say coexist, trust me, when I say coexist, it goes a long way with what my beliefs are. Even the food coexist. Even my music coexists with each other. So the coexisting of using all these different ingredients, which is going to be the fresh ingredients of all the vegetables and the sauces, because my sauces bases, my enchilada sauce, my green chili sour cream sauce, my gravy that I have for my biscuit gravy, all that is vegan based. So it starts out vegan, and what makes it non-vegan is whatever protein they want with it. Now on the proteins, it's flavorful because I marinate my proteins. I marinate my pastor, I marinate my chicken, and I marinate my shaved ribeye that I use for those. So everything coexists. The overhead is very low. The concept is diverse. It's a concept that I've been looking at and I have not seen a company yet do what I do yet, as far as coexisting with vegan and non-vegan out of the same restaurant.
That's good, man.
That's awesome.
We're excited, man. We'll definitely be there for sure. It's down the street from our office.
I'm just excited for everything to get going and just to hear the background and the inspiration behind it. Now, I want to ask this, though. You've given a lot of just great insights on everything. You really have. You've touched on a lot of good things. I want to ask you, and I know you're going to kill this one. It's going to knock it out of the park. It's a home run right here.
Boxers or briefs?
So there's maybe a young kid out there, or maybe someone that's a little older that's wanting to start their own business. Maybe they want to open up a restaurant or open something up. They just have this vision, right? They were to come up to you and say, look, I'm scared. Like, I want to do this, but I'm scared. You've been there. You know the ups and downs, the trials, the tribulations. It keeps going. You're going to go up, down, up, down. What's that advice you'd give them if they said, I want to start a business? What is that advice you would give to them?
I would ask them what kind of support system you have. If it's a kid that is single and doesn't have anything to hold them back, do it. If you fail, you have the least amount to lose.
Yeah.
If you're a kid, and you don't have anything, you don't have any major bills or anything like that, and you're starting off as young, go ahead and fail, because you're going to go along the line. You're going to see a lot of failures. Nobody can be perfect. You're going to see those failures. But the biggest thing that I tell people at a younger age is, when you have those failures, what are you learning from those failures? In an aspect of who you are and who you want to be, what are you doing to improve that? Because you don't want to fail again doing the same thing if you're going to try it again over and over again.
Yeah.
I used to say this all the time, and I quit saying it because it came into the mantra of be kind to the world too. But I say who you want to be tomorrow is who you need to start being today. The biggest word that I can use is being consistent. Being consistent of who you are. When you grow up and you get older, your views are going to change.
Yeah.
Whether it be political, religion, whatever, your views on life is going to change. Your views on the world is going to change. But if you're still that same person, that core person of who you are, if you're kind and you like working in business and working around people and want to succeed, all you have to do is just take the fact that you want to do something in the world. You want to make an impact in the world. How are you going to make that impact? How are you going to change lives? It doesn't matter if it's just one person, two person, three person, or even 20. How are you going to make an impact of the world that you want to see in the future by the business you do? So it's okay to fail. It really is. There's nothing to it. Now, if you're older and you're seasoned and the failure is a little bit more of a risk because of family, then I say talk to your family. Before you take a risk, talk to your family to see if they're okay with it. If they're going to be backing you 100%,
Go for it.
then go for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I like
That's
that.
awesome.
I like
That's
that.
good advice, man. I knew he was gonna hit a grand slam. I mean, this has just been fun. I mean, tons of insights. Excited for the restaurant. Congratulations on everything. Your support system. They're awesome. I haven't even met your family. We'll meet them soon.
Come to the next family reunion.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all do that, huh? Y'all do that?
Oh, yeah. You see it.
I see those. They're like at a hangar or somewhere. What is it?
It's our family barn.
A barn.
Yeah. So that's it just sounds like you have a great support system, but just the way your perspective on things, your outlook is awesome, and I cannot wait to see this restaurant just take off. Can't wait to
It'll do
go
good.
lunch
It'll
over
do
there.
good for
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, it's going to be awesome. I know my girl. I know all of the girls in my family. They heard mimosas. They're going to hear this on this episode.
Hey,
So-
it's not bottomless mimosas. We do charge per glass, but at least you get to create it yourself.
Yeah, well, that's still going to hurt my bank account. So.
Hey,
But,
$3. That's all it is.
Oh, okay, that's
There
it.
you go. So I forgot to say this too. So the drink specials that we have, we're doing it for 3 months because I want people to try it out. If it's good, we probably just keep it. But $250 of the micheladas is for $250. I was gonna say bottomless. No, not bottomless. The build your own mimosas is $3, and it's actually going to be a bigger glass than a regular mimosa would come in because I want them to get their money's worth at the same time and enjoy themselves. And the wines that we have, I only have one particular wine. It's out of Budweiser, and those are $250 a glass.
Okay.
So it's pretty cheap.
Affordable,
I want you to come in and enjoy
affordable.
yourselves.
Yes. Okay. There we
I like
go.
it. I
That
like
sounds
it.
a lot. That sounds like a great date. Gonna save. Not have to break the bank no more.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well. Hey, Paul, it's been amazing having you on here.
It's been great, man. Thank
yes,
you.
the guys, the Brunch Truck Cafe is
Where's
coming
it located
soon.
again?
Yes.
213 Southwest 7th Avenue, right across from the old Chase Tower, right by the Greyhound bus station. I used to say that all the time. I quit saying it, but
Yeah.
say it natural.
There you go.
Awesome.
Well, we've got a lot of great insights here. Again, thank you guys for listening and tuning in to Hustlers Horizon podcast every week. The support is awesome. We appreciate it. We've been bringing on some amazing guests. Cannot wait to keep bringing on many more, making many more memories, building many more relationships. Paul Olivarez, the owner of the Brunch Truck Cafe. We are excited. Thanks again for watching Hustlers Horizon podcast, the podcast where we hustle up, level up, shift the mindset to build a better us, build a better business. We'll see you next episode.
Let's go.